We are having so much fun, and we know you're going to love our next guest. His name is Tony Walker, and he is a comedy guy. Comedy cures everything. So.
Absolutely. I had cancer at the age of 32, and I do believe that the laughter and the positive attitude got me through it just as much as the medications did, which led to the comedy troupe that I run called Knockem Dead Comedy. We do dinner theater, murder mysteries, game shows, kid shows. We're not stand-up or anything like that, just comedy shows, variety shows.
You go to restaurants and where else? Like theaters?
Restaurants, private parties, corporate events, fundraisers. Did I say fundraisers?
Fundraisers, firehouses.
The comedy shows, they're murder mysteries, they're audience participation. It's a scripted show because there's clues and hints that have to go out, but it's not a don't blink or you'll miss something. It's not Agatha Christie.
Right.
It's a comedy. It's lighthearted, but one of the characters does get killed,
right.
And then the audience has to figure out who did it and why. And if it's a private party or a corporate event, we personalize it to fit their event.
Now, do you ask the audience for help with the mysteries? Or
Yeah, they solve it.
All by themselves.
Based on what they saw during the show, we even give them a little section where they can interrogate the suspects.
Oh, that's
and,
fun.
So we'll deflect, deny, point fingers at other characters, but everybody makes the rounds throughout the whole room and talks to people.
The show is guaranteed. It's 100% guaranteed fun.
Totally.
Everywhere we go,
always.
Everybody loves that show.
The audience just get so involved, and there's just such a part of the show, and that makes it even better.
Other things that you do aside
Yeah,
from
we
mystery.
do game shows.
Oh, the game show, we have a podium with lights and buzzers and sounds, and it's basically
Like
a
a
trivia
fantasy.
game show, or it could be, again, we ad-lib with that too. So they may want a trivia game show, but if we show up and they're a loud, boisterous group and they're a lot of fun, we could ask them to do funny physical challenges or do some karaoke or whatever, or name that tune, whatever we feel like doing, and they'll be willing to do. We'll take it there.
What movie introduced the phrase, "There's no crying in baseball"?
What letter comes after A? Go ahead. B is correct!
Is there a favorite skit that you do that just still cracks you up every time you do it?
We do a lot of audience participation murder mystery shows, comedic murder mystery shows. And there's two shows. We have a mob show. We're in New York. You have to have the mob shows. And we have a redneck wedding, which is just
Oh, that I have to come see that one.
You're welcome
Yeah!
anytime. Anytime. In fact, I even
Well,
brought
growing
you a
up in
shirt.
St. Louis, Missouri, I have to say, you did?
Oh, of course I did. That you will wear
Hey!
everywhere you go. In fact, I have a whole bunch there. I'm giving one out to everybody.
Everywhere I go. Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Oh,
we
that's
call it.
great.
Can I
Knockem Dead
pretend I'm
Comedy.
drinking something?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pretend like
Thanks,
you're drinking something.
I'm having fun on the set.
We actually do put water in it when guests ask.
Just
we
not
do. But
this
if you
guest.
if you don't ask ahead of time, wait, this one's full of water. You ready?
Nice.
1, 2, 3. All right, there you go.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just do that for right now.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Hello, everybody. It is Monday. It is December 12th. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Twitch channel. Thanks for joining us on Twitch. And I have no idea what that means, but we're on Twitch. Please follow and subscribe and share and all that stuff. Whatever you got to do. I get so lost on these things. I'm always trying to figure out
What's the best option?
Yeah, what's the best option, and then how do you do it, and where do you share it? And hello, Kent Pichelle. Thanks for watching. Good to see you, pal. Hope everybody had a great weekend. How was your weekend? Oh, I'm sorry. Chris Cassandro's here. Chris Cassandro. It's been a while. Good to see you.
It's been a while.
Yep.
It has been a while.
That's bad.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just, I was away for Thanksgiving week, so that.
Where'd you go?
I went down to Florida.
Oh, nice.
Went down to go spend the holiday with my father, and then I took my wife and my son. We did Universal for a couple of days.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Refi the house for that.
And what?
Had to refi
Oh,
the
yeah,
house
I bet.
For 2 days there. I mean, it's
just for 2 days.
Oh, it's crazy. I look at some people with, like, their families of 4 and 5, and I'm like, these people here for a week, it's like a $15,000 vacation.
It's true, man. I mean,
nuts.
And you try to enjoy it, right? You see your son enjoying himself, but you can't help but think about the price tag, man.
It's nuts.
I mean, I try to push all that aside and just, you know what? You only live once. I don't care about the cost. My kids will remember this forever.
Yeah, he was having a blast. I like Universal much more than Disney.
Really? Why?
Yeah, but Disney just they took all the fun out of it. It's like work. People are making reservations at restaurants like 6 months before they get there. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Like
I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for.
Right. I don't know what I'm going to want to do. You know, the ride, you're always on your phone. So you looking at a line and reserving a spot. It's just like, it's work. It's a lot of work. Plus, Universal, I think, pound for pound's got, like, the best coasters.
Well, speaking of traveling and speaking of pound for pound, have you heard about Indonesia?
I have not.
Bali and all that, big tourist attraction. We can't go there.
No?
No. Indonesia, where is it? Indonesia's parliament last week passed a controversial bill that prohibits cohabitation between unmarried couples. They've actually outlawed sex. They can't live together or have sex if they're not married.
If they're not married.
That it's a law. They're saying that tourists will not be affected.
Well, I would hope so.
But
that's all they got.
Right. Well, that's exactly it,
Right.
because they were worried about the tourist money. So they said tourists are okay, but I don't know. Some of these foreign countries, man, they have different rules and their cops are dirty, and I wouldn't even take the chance.
Nah, I would never go there.
I mean, what? I'd be moving out of there if I lived there.
If I lived there, yes.
Solely for that reason.
But how easy is it to move out, right? Who knows in places like that? Can you just pick up and go?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But I bet you they get a surge of people trying to get out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's
crazy.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine when you were in your 20s saying, no, you can't?
You can't do it.
I mean, technically the church says that. I don't know.
But nobody's knocking on your doors and arresting you for it, right?
Right. I don't know if they're active
I'm sure
there.
There's, once they go to some sort of enforcing it, it's going to get dicey.
Right. And then if you have like some perverted cops, like what, they just,
Yeah.
they're going to be peeking through windows? Like, how do you find out?
And how do you know, right?
Right,
Somebody
right.
can just say, I know they're doing it. Is that good enough? Or you have to be caught?
You could really mess with somebody, right?
Yeah, you can ruin someone's life. Hey, this
Call the cops, say, hey, so-and-so.
I saw them having sex.
Right, this is their address.
Or do they have to catch you in the act?
Vaseline and lube, I bet the demand for that goes up because everybody's going to be home by themselves.
I bet we could, if you search like Bali and OnlyFans, you see what comes up.
That's true, yeah.
I bet you people home alone making money.
Or some of these, homely Americans who like to buy their wives.
Yeah.
I bet you they're all going to they're going to be buying Bali women.
There's always opportunity, so you got to identify the opportunity, right?
Exactly.
So if you got to stay home and masturbate and make money, that's what you got to do.
Or the guys, you're going to see like people getting married at 20 years old.
Yeah. Everybody's going to just get married just so they can have sex. That's crazy.
Fremder, like the hole in the wall and the ladies' room, I think the police are looking into it.
It's possible.
So I jumped right on that because I saw you because you gave me the traveling stuff.
Yeah,
so
but it was
right
fun. It was the typical nonsense of travel.
Well, how is your boy?
He's good.
He's doing well?
He's doing well.
He had that big surgery?
He had the wrist surgery, and then he's good with that. He was able to play in the playoffs. He was able to make the playoffs.
Nice.
We lost the championship game to Baldwin.
Baldwin?
In overtime.
Oh, wow.
It was good. It was
well,
fun.
At least it was a good, exciting game.
Cool. Yeah, so he was happy just so he was able to get back on the field before, not miss the whole season.
Right.
So, and then, it's just things keep coming up. There's like, now, these kids are 10 and they all, they have phones and these group chats with their classmates. And there's a lot of shit going on, like parents saying, kids are saying this and that. And it's just, I was like, it's just so insane.
But, see, now...
Because we didn't have to worry about that.
We didn't have to worry about that when we were kids. We used to just, because we were outside, our parents
saying
knew
the same things. It just wasn't...
But we handled it ourselves because our parents weren't around.
But it wasn't in print now. Like, screenshot. Like, I'm like, I was saying the same shit.
Right.
We were all saying the same things, but we were outside with our friends doing it instead of being on a phone.
See, but I at first I was thinking that's good because it's on the phone because then you can you had the proof. But now I see what you're saying. You're basically saying boys will be boys. Just let them hash it out.
Let them hash it out.
So it's nothing
Nothing major.
Right, it's
like,
nothing
you know,
major,
the
like-
bullshit and like, oh, this one used to this, so I'm gonna kick his ass, and yada yada. And people, oh, what? I'm like, okay, they're 10 years old.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
they need to. Some of them need to hit each other, and they'll be friends forever.
Right.
It's got to happen.
And I remember that as kids. I mean, yeah, you'd have a couple of slaps thrown around, and like you said, then you were friends. Unless it got, I mean, they were the exceptions. You know, if a fight really got bad, the parent might have to come out
Yeah.
and break it up, or sometimes the kids broke it up. But that wasn't the norm.
No.
It was usually just a couple of slapping, maybe,
and
you know,
it depends
pushing
who
and
the
shoving.
kids were, right? If
Right.
it was like a bully kid and a weak kid, that's
Right.
you know, that's one thing. But you know, if it's within the same, it's all the same kids. They all play sports together. They all
Right.
see each other. They're all a tight little group.
Yep.
I'm like, why do I have to get involved in this?
I remember actually that's usually what ended a fight, because if you ended up playing sports together, you ended up on the same team, and you immediately like, no, this is my teammate. I can't fight my teammate.
You don't fight anymore.
Yeah. So what? So the parents are getting involved now? They're fighting with each
No,
other.
they're just like, you know, this one said that, and then who's to blame? And this kid, you know, maybe they shouldn't hang out with him. I'm like,
Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, why are we having this conversation?
Right.
I'm like, I got other shit to worry about.
Shut up.
Right. I'm just like, it's take the phone away.
Yep.
Take the phone away.
Right.
And you know, or you know, because I mean, you have to go through the phones because you got to know. Right,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
know what's going on.
Absolutely
I mean, so
right.
at the end of the day, so a 10-year-old kid tells another kid, "Hey, suck my dick." What are you gonna fucking put him in prison for it?
Right.
I told the kid suck my dick when I was 10 years old. but
Absolutely.
nobody knew.
Right.
It wasn't there and proof.
I
I
mean-
think what's going on is some of the chats have girls in them too.
Oh, all right. See, that's exactly what I was about to say. I mean, it of course, it doesn't mean they don't get a talking to. You know, hey, Johnny, you can't say these
can't
things,
say that,
especially with a girl around. You got to be careful.
Right.
Which we deserve too if we got caught.
Right.
You know, and there were plenty of things we got caught doing, and we faced the consequences.
These girls are not like all girls. These girls are saying some crazy shit too. I'm reading them.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow! Look at this one.
I've
you know
heard
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're like, what are you supposed to do? I'm like, but you know, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, you know, I'll talk to him. I'll tell
Right.
him he's got to be. I tell him, listen, you got to be careful. This can get you in trouble at school. This doesn't go away.
Right.
This is, you know, now this one took a picture of this, and you know, you didn't say anything on that one, like specifically, but you know, you got 3 different names on it. I'm like, that'll never. I said that'll never disappear.
Right.
Like if they want to go to the principal, they got this. Even if it's a joke, I'm like, just
Right.
don't don't get involved.
See, that's the problem too, because we used to, you know, you couldn't do it on school grounds, right? Because then you get in trouble. You know, so you would take it, you know,
Yeah.
out. But now there is nothing out,
now if
unless it's a phone.
And the thing is, even if anything happened outside of school, it never went to school.
Right. Now it
Regardless,
does.
Even if parents got involved, it never went to school. Now it goes immediately to school.
Yep.
So even my wife was like, "Well, I'm going to tell a principal." I was like, "What are you going to go to the principal for? Like, when are you going to get that?" Somebody's going to go there already. I'm like, "But for what do they need to be involved in it? Why does the kid need to get in trouble at school for something he did on a
Right.
fucking Saturday night in his house?"
Right.
I'm like, I don't need the school to discipline my kid. I'll raise the kid.
When my son was in preschool or kindergarten, I think it was kindergarten, one of the kids had a birthday party. And for whatever reason, I don't remember what it was, but my son had some kind of, it was a meltdown, and it was a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pro at it.
Okay.
The next, and it was on it was, you know, Friday or Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was, but the next school day, we get a call. Actually, no, we had a meeting set up by coincidence, and it had to do with something else, and it wasn't even trouble. It was like, you know, something to do with school, like services or whatever. So we're sitting in a circle with, you know, with the teachers and, you know, whoever else, and sure enough, they bring up, you know, his behavior and whatnot, and then they kind of worked in, and we're aware of, you know of his breakdown at the party. We're like, what?
Right.
Yeah, and this is, you know, my son's now, he just turned 22, so this is, you know, 15 years ago.
Right.
This was before everybody was, you know, this is before phones were, you know, as smart as they are now.
Yeah.
You know, so this was probably the beginning of that, where schools were getting involved. I flipped. How dare you? Oh, man,
Right.
I went nuts.
Right. What does that have to do with
Right.
anything?
Right.
I'll take care of the outside of school.
Right.
You take care of the inside of school.
And they actually said the parents were concerned that this behavior was going on in the classroom and disrupting their child's education. Right. They were freaking kindergarten.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Makes me
that's
nuts.
the thing, too. right? We were talking about, somebody was saying something. I was like, well, in kindergarten, I'm like, we didn't fucking learn anything. We were there just to, it was babysitting.
Right.
Like, and now you're putting all this shit on there, and they're like, yeah, because somebody was saying, like, oh, no, I'm just a little worried. I think he's falling behind. I'm like, falling behind?
Oh, goodness.
How do you fall behind in kindergarten?
Right. Well, because now they do math.
Right.
And, like,
but I'm like,
yeah,
it's like
they do
you're
actual
fucking ruining
schoolwork.
these kids' lives. Like,
Absolutely.
you're taking away their little...
I'll tell you, not to get too deep or anything, but I do feel, I feel that there's too much pressure on these kids. I do feel it has a lot to do with, why they're shooting each other up now.
Yeah.
We didn't. I mean, not that we didn't have it, super easy. And I don't want to sound like a get off the grass type of old man, but we didn't have the pressures that they have now.
No.
I mean, some of these kids don't even get a lunch period.
No, and the big problem now is because I got one nephew in high school now. It's like if you got, it's how many clubs you're in and how many things you're doing,
right?
And not the academics so much anymore,
right?
When these colleges look for all the other bullshit.
That's
and
right.
There's nothing to do. And at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, because they know these kids are coming out of here probably 75%. Educated with what they used to teach them.
Right.
Half the time they're not teaching them anything. They're talking about all other shit. And they're getting involved in like the grassroots of math, English,
right,
and science.
Well, and they had honors classes and even I think even higher up classes like that. But now the pressure
it's insane
put on these, and I mean some of these kids are taking college level classes in 10th grade.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's way too much.
I don't know. I told my sister-in-law, I'm like, let him go at his pace.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out.
The Jukester says that we got to get the mic closer to you.
A little bit closer. I'm sorry there, Jukester.
I had Chris turned up because I saw his little distance, but all right, but now I moved the mic closer to him. Thank you, Jukester. And thanks for joining us today. Let me go back. From there, in a barley marriage, I think the dot on the head. I'm not going to even finish that.
But
comment.
yeah, I think they should eat a little less Play-Doh. I do agree with that.
Well, God forbid they interrupt the kindergarten class. Maybe it's a good thing if some of those little rugrats eat a little less Play-Doh. Oh, the Jukester is Kenny Friedman. Hello, Kenny Friedman. We're working on getting Kenny Friedman in here. Kenny, you were in here a long time ago on one of the other shows, weren't you? Playing with a band. Was it Joe DeJeju's show or something? But anyway, yeah, we're going to get Kenny Friedman in here on this show. Approximately 1,000 years ago. Yeah, probably. Yeah, got to get Kenny in here. Good guy, funny guy, great musician, plays with Wondrous Stories. Oh, speaking of Wondrous Stories, I think Kenny Forgione is coming in here Thursday, Kenny. I have no memories from before March 2020.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. I
only have good ones from then.
Yeah, right. March 2020, that was, I was just talking about it the other day with somebody. Who was I talking to? Because I was the last one to perform at the brokerage in March 2020.
Nice.
It was a Sunday night. I went on last. And then I think it was that Monday or Tuesday when Trump came, shut everything down. So I was the last one to perform, and it was I don't think the other two clubs were even open that night because it was a Sunday. So I was the last one to perform live in any of the governor's clubs for over a year. So basically I was the COVID of comedy.
You were the COVID, yeah.
It was so bad it just shut down.
People were like, who's going to come out and listen to this shit?
And then they opened up the patio, because everybody started doing outdoor stuff. And I swear to God, this is true. I was going to be on some show. I forget whose show it was, but I was going to be on one of these shows towards I think it was like late July, early August. It was like a day or two after it came out. That's when the government came and shut the patio down for whatever reason. They shut it down.
Oh, they shut the patio down also?
They did. They did shut it down for a few months. Yeah, they did eventually. They were allowed to eventually bring it back, but it was shut down for at least a month. I'm thinking more. But it was right after they announced I was going to be. I was like, holy shit, I really am the COVID of comedy.
You were the mush.
I'm surprised they let me in the building. Crazy. Well, speaking of comedy, you got all right. So yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. I got a lot to catch up with you about. I want to talk about the Butera contest, but tell me, because you did that. You did, because we've talked. I've tried to get you my murder mysteries, but then you did some kind of murder mystery thing in Jersey.
I did that Jersey thing. Yeah.
Explain to me how this worked.
It was like a killer throwback engagement party.
What do you mean by throwback? Like it was like a 70s
like
theme
the
or
80s,
something?
like
An 80s theme party.
80s
Okay.
theme, like throwback engagement party. And we had this place, this restaurant, Calandra's Italian Village in Jersey. Big room. I think we had about 85 people.
Nice.
And people were just sitting at tables, and it was a 4-course dinner. Plus, it was just a party, man.
Wow.
And then we kind of went around.
So was it a scripted show or no?
No, it wasn't. It was. This is okay. A couple of things. This is what this is going to happen, and this is what's going to happen.
So like you have to repeat a few scenarios.
A few scenarios, but
in
everything
various
was kinda
parts of the
off
room, so
cuff,
people can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to just stay in character the whole time. So
right.
We kept telling people, you got to be watching what's going on. Then I'm talking to somebody over there. And then you make your way around, and you mingle with the crowd, and it was great though. But it was like a blast. Everybody was having. It was a party. People was like they felt they were just at like a 4-hour party. DJ cranking, everybody dancing.
Okay,
it was fun. It was.
I love that.
It was
stuff.
pretty successful. Yeah, it worked out well.
And you guys were out there the whole time doing this.
Yeah.
And even while they're eating. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get fed?
Yes. So, what I did was. I needed more of a backstory. So the original thought was he wanted me to be somebody that could, narrate the play-by-play, make a couple of jokes here and there, do this, that. And I was going to kind of like be part of like the DJ.
Okay.
And then a couple of nights before, I was like, nah, it's like I need more of a backstory. I said, what I think would work is, it's just one of these Italian engagement parties. So I had made a joke already that I was going to bring up about, making sure everybody was sitting at a table with, people that they liked because, it took 4 weeks for them to put together this list and who can't sit with who and yada, yada, yada.
Right, okay.
And I was the only guy, the Uncle Rocco, that they couldn't find a table that everybody would accept me at. So
That's
I'm
great.
going to go, so I would have like the salad course at a table. I'd be like, you mind if I sit and eat salad? I can't find a table.
Yeah.
And it gave me like the entryway to start conversations with these people.
Right.
And
that's
then
a great
I bounced
idea.
around. Oh, it was great. I mean, and then then we had Facebook Live, so we had people like commenting from there and putting it on the Facebook page that we made, and if they wanted to guess who they thought did it, request songs, and then in the morning my buddy sent me a screenshot, and it's just like everybody was like, "Love Uncle Rocco. Uncle Rocco is the best. I love Uncle Rocco."
That's awesome.
So it was fun, like for the first time, and then just doing it off the cuff. It was fun.
But then how did you do like the actual murder problem? Like you must have had to get everybody's attention at that
attempted
point.
murder. So basically, he got poisoned in the cake.
Oh, okay.
So the idea was who they think, who they think tried to poison him.
Oh, okay.
The best man was banging the bride. It was like there was a lot of things going on.
But do you at that point though? Do you get everybody's attention like to kind of lead it through and solve it or no?
Well, they kind of see. No, we said put it up. So they had to put in there who they thought did it, and then
what on the Facebook page?
On the Facebook page,
even the people that were there.
Even the people that were there.
Oh wow!
On the Facebook page, and then we announced the following day. We let them know what happened, and we sent out the and whoever won. I think there were like 3 people that won. 5 guessed it right, and then we picked 3 out of the 5 because the restaurant was giving out $200 gift certificates to the place.
Wow! Oh, so you don't solve it with them?
We don't solve it with them. No,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So, and I guess then the reason I don't, because we've with my company we've toyed the idea of Facebook Live or doing something live, but our shows are scripted and it's always the same killer.
Right.
So we can't put it out there.
Because if you
right. So that's where I was curious how they did it. We have changed it from time to time because we've had sometimes we get people that have seen us already and they'll come and be like so we're backstage.
Even I got it wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I got it wrong. Like even he didn't let us know.
Right.
Really.
Oh, so he has it set up too.
He had the.
I thought you were going by like who got voted the most or something.
No.
Oh,
it was
okay.
just like only the person that was going to be the person that was going to be the one that tried to do it.
Yeah.
Knew. So he could in his maneuvering around could go a little over the top to a little bit more of a clue that it was you.
Wow.
Because it was this one was banging that one, that one was fighting with that one, the father and the mother and this, and then it was the best man because and for one of the first things he said is he brought the cake from his family's bakery. And some people caught it, some people didn't.
Right.
It was really fun. I mean, it was, like you felt like at one point I turned around, I just felt like I was at like somebody's engagement party that I knew.
Yeah.
And everybody was dancing. I mean, everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
So he's trying to find a home base for it, somewhere. This was like Central Jersey. I mean, it was just a spot he'd been putting it together.
Yeah.
I don't think long-term goal that works. But what's his name was the groom. Nicky Smiggs.
Oh, okay.
So he was the groom.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you must, so people, I'm sure, came just to see him.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I say. We had, I think we had 85 or 90 residents on the books. And then he came here a couple of weeks after I came in, stopped in to see him.
How much did he get paid to
I don't
make that
know.
appearance?
I have no idea.
Because I've toyed with that from time to time to get, when we had some, because we've had some good gigs. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't. But we played at the Suffolk Theater several years back, and I toyed with that. Like, I got to get somebody who's a little bit of a name that
can draw in.
And
see, this was easy because it was kind of like $90. I mean, you got a 4-course meal.
Yeah, that's a good
red
deal.
And white wine.
Right.
So I don't know the financial parts of it, like how much went to
the restaurant,
the house, what
right?
went to the restaurant, what went to the thing. This was a friend of mine. We were talking. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. He's like, I don't know what my budget is. I'm like, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Hey, let's, it sounds fun. If it works, maybe we can grow it into something. Maybe do it once every 3 months somewhere. And but I think you need that because of the party aspect. You need to have a room that people can dance, and you need to have the food. Like it's got to be like a full dinner theater where they got to be eating.
Oh yeah,
and you have to have like you need that space where you could have table here, a table there, and people can maneuver around.
I sort of whenever we get hired for a gig, someone says what should you set up? I just say a wedding, just a wedding setup. So you have the dance floor, and that's where the actors will be, and we get to just walk around, mingle through the tables.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the difference I would think of being scripted and non-scripted is. You might be able to catch things going on when you're not fully paying attention, or or it keeps you actually looking away from what's going on. Like you're seeing them two argue over there, and then I'm over here doing something else, and kind of maybe they're like, well, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, we're scripted, but we go off the script constantly because we like to react to what's going on in the audience, and we're mic'd also. So I bring a big giant beast of a soundboard and have 7 mics,
little headsets.
Yeah. And it's a little tough because I have to tell the actors, because if you're over here saying your line, but now something's going on over there, and one of the actors happens to be over there, there's going to be noise, so you got to be over here. You either got to know to stop, or wait for them to stop. Otherwise, you're just gonna have 2 people on a mic, and all you hear is noise. You hear people making noise over there, and then you have no idea what's going on.
You have no idea what's going on.
So it's tricky, but
I mean, it seemed good. It seemed we had 5 people pick the right person. I think we ended up getting like 50 submissions.
Okay.
And
it's actually a great idea because then it brings traffic to your Facebook page.
Right, and then you have them engaged. So it's like, oh, if you want to hear a song, or that. Because I said it's like DJ doesn't take requests. You just won't go up to the DJ booth. But if you want to hear a song, put it on the Facebook page. Maybe we can work it into it. Like he'll be getting the songs live, so it keeps them engaged. And it ran up traffic to the page.
Right.
So I actually am going to see my buddy next week, and we're going to discuss. I want to discuss with him what his thoughts are because I know we got good positive feedback from it.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It could work. It could work. Like a long-term thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I've always hoped it would be a bigger thing, but I've been doing it 25 years, and I love it. And at least on Long Island, we do well. We do a little bit of Jersey and Connecticut too, but
it was humbling because when I showed up, I was wanting to be cousin Rocco, and then my buddy at some point he's like, how old are you? I'm like 49. He goes, you're going to have to be the uncle. He goes, they're in their 20s. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm an uncle now. I'm not the cousin anymore. I'm getting fucking old.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
it. Yeah, that's...
like, shit.
Because we have a few different murder mysteries. We have a mob thing. We have a redneck wedding. And in the redneck wedding, I play the bride. I play her son. And I'm like, now my beard is... I started this I wrote the show 20 years ago, and we've been doing it. But now, with a white beard, it's
tough.
It's tough playing somebody's son.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I'm gonna have to start bringing in some younger people.
Yeah, that's it. So we did that. That went well. That was fun to do. I've been getting up as much as I can. I haven't really been hanging out or coming here. I hate sitting in the front like a lost puppy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, can you put me up? You know what I mean? And I get it. It's a flip, right? Because you're showing. There's a sense of you're showing that you wanna.
That's exactly it.
But you also don't want to be like a pain in the ass and stuff like that. But I've been lucky enough a couple of times I'll come in, stop in, and and then James will just look at me. He's like, come in tomorrow, I'll get you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't linger around probably as much as I could if I maybe wanted more. But, Terry's coming up again. I'm doing a Terry show.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing a show with John. I've never done a show with John Butera as well. But, we've had this conversation too. I don't want to be pigeonholed into like a bringer guy because
right.
I feel I could be a filler for some of those shows also.
Right.
So I did the comedy contest, which, I did it just to do it. People say to do it. But, so the first round, right? So afterwards, he's like, you were in first and then you went over. So, you get penalized for going over.
Okay. How far
over?
over?
6 minutes. So you can't do less than 4. You can't do more than 6. If you go 6 to 6.5 or 6 to 6:15, it's minus half a point. 6 to 6:30, it's minus 1. 6:30 to 7, it's minus 2, and over 7, you're disqualified.
Wow.
Which happened the last time also. But again, the same thing happened. So, and I didn't get clarity until the finals. Like, when does the time exactly start? Right?
Okay.
You're handing off the mic, you're introducing me, like, when does that time start?
Right.
It's like, as soon as you say your first words. But again, I'm like, I know I went over. I'm like, but people were laughing. That doesn't get taken into account. Like, if I have to wait because people are continuing to laugh,
right,
I'm not going to talk over them because I'm worried about finishing in 6 minutes.
Right.
It's just, because I did it once, and it was funny. I did it here in the main room. And James like, come up tomorrow, I'll get you a bit. And I got in the back room like 6 minutes. I'm like, all right, I know I don't have to go over. And there was a couple, like, my opening one, people were, like, laughing. The room was fucking full.
Mm-hmm.
Laughing. And I knew I was in a hurry, so I kind of stepped over. And then when I listened to the recording, you hear it. And I'm like, you know what? There's probably 75 people in that corner that did not hear what I just said.
Right.
On the second joke.
See, that's
and that needs to be taken into account in all these contests.
Absolutely. But that's one of the things that kind of throws me with stand-up comedy. Because you have to worry about the time, and you don't want to step on the laughs. You don't. So while you're up there worrying about your time, thinking about your timing, now you have to think about if they're laughing. Now, all right, what do I cut out?
Right.
And I'm in the middle of this.
Right. That's what happened to me. And
it's
I cut
crazy.
something out that night on the comedy on the finals. I cut it out, and I was going. It was going. And that the last final bang, I couldn't drop it because I was going to go over again. And then I'm like, and people came up, and even when Dan was like, oh, it was great, the bidet thing, I'm like, I know, and I didn't even get to the fucking, like, the tie-in at the end.
Right,
because I didn't want to go over.
Jeez.
But I think in these contests, they should take into account if people are laughing and it's going well, you have to wait for them to stop laughing.
Sure.
Because my monkeypox mask asshole joke, it gets hard, and then you're getting ready to come into the next one, and all of a sudden, like, especially when it's a full room, right? And then somebody in the back will be like, and then all of a sudden, like 15 other people join in.
Right.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I got to let them, the number one rule, right? Shut the fuck up if they're laughing.
Right. That was the thing. When I took Truson's comedy class, I'll never forget it. He showed us this video. I don't remember who the comedian was, but you know what I'm talking about. Where he took away the crowd laughter, and you see just how little
the guy talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
The volume.
Let's see who this is. I might disconnect this phone call depending on who it is. Hello. Yep. Okay. So Let's see. 6 minutes to finish, and you hope that you did good. Sounds like sex. Hello, Andy Plajanos. Coming in late, you have to plan for the laughs. It is part of it. You get a specific crowd response score. Oh, that's interesting, but I'm not disagreeing with you, Andy. But how do you plan for the laughs? Yeah, no problem. It's. Yeah, I get it. You can plan for laughs, but you don't know how long it's gonna last. Sometimes people laugh at spots that you didn't expect. It's a little. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the more you do it, because as you know, I don't do it all that much. The stand-up, that is. Stand-up. But you can see me. You know what? Do I have the flyer? Let me see. Since Chris had to take a call, let me see. Do I have the flyer here? There it is. You can come see me New Year's Eve. Right here at Governor's in the Giggle Room. Headliner John Butera, hosted by our pal Dan LaRocco. Fat Jay is in it. Courtney's in it. Kristen Danko is in it. Emily Santosis. Some great comedians. Myself, of course. That is New Year's Eve right here in the Giggle Room. Go to govs.com and make some reservations to a lot of great shows. It is why you have to get up a lot. You will get a feel. Also, you watch the crowd before you go up. Oh, okay. All right. I hear you. Yeah, and I do that. It's weird. I do that with the murder mysteries. But again, to your point, I've been doing it for so long that, yeah, I could do the murder mysteries backwards with my eyes closed. But sometimes we do, if we mess up or time is going too fast, I will grab the cast. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We got to cut this. We got to go straight to this, and we're going to do this, And I do gauge the crowd. I'll go up there before the show, and I just watch, and I figure out that table's going to be fun, that table's going to be, disruptive, and I do get a feel. So I hear you, Andy. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, come join us New Year's Eve in the Giggle Room. That's the early show on New Year's Eve in the Giggle Room because there's 2 shows there that night. So come to the early show. It's a 7 o'clock show time in the Giggle Room. Come enjoy that show. Then stick around in the Giggle Room that night because Jeff Bosey is performing that night in the Giggle Room for the late show. Some other great comedians. Oh, Rich Rada is performing with me that night too, which I'm looking forward to. Or you can go into the big club and see Rodia. Anthony Rodia will be here that night. Yeah. So, yeah. So, what's that?
It's on the line.
I didn't take the call. Yeah, Andy was saying that you have to plan for the laughs. That's why you have to go up a lot because you get a feel. And he's also saying that you got to gauge the crowd before you even go up, and that helps with the timing of the laughs.
Yes. So now to tie back in. So apparently, my son. Somebody went to the principal, and there's this whole big thing.
Oh, my goodness.
And my son is being removed from the school right now.
Removed from the school?
Removed from the school because he's saying that he has a threat to one of the girls who, my son told me last week, and he's like, oh, this Kayla, she kicked Vinny, she punched me. And I'm like, that could mean she probably likes you. So on this group thread or whatever, she must have been saying something or whatever, and my son must have said, oh, you're mean, I'm going to kill you, whatever. And they're taking this, and they're throwing him out. My wife's flipping out, and I'm going to have to go beat up this principal, I think, soon. Oh, my fuck.
Well, you can't say that either.
I can't say that either.
So he said the words, I'm going to kill you, and, of course, we all know what that means, but, of course, in this day and age, you can't say that.
No, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell him. Well, listen, if this girl was physically hitting my kid and he didn't punch her back, then I want that looked into.
Right.
This school.
And exactly what we were talking about. You don't want to go to that level.
No.
Like you said, the girl probably just likes him.
Yeah.
It didn't mean anything, but now you have to go to the school and say things like that and fight back over nothing.
Right. But he's an idiot for saying stupid shit like that. I told him that. I'm like, you can't talk like that. He gets in trouble with this one kid all the time. And then he's like, well, but apparently he said he's got proof on the text. I'm like, okay, but my wife doesn't handle these things well, so she probably cursed the guy out. So now I have to call and be like, I'm going to be there at 1 o'clock. And if he's not willing to take my meeting, then there'll be a problem. But then there'll be a problem. Like, no, we're gonna. I'm coming there. We're gonna discuss this.
Oh my!
Yeah,
goodness.
it's crazy, man. Like the shit that goes on.
You know, again, when somebody, Chris, I'm gonna kill you, man. Like,
yeah,
it's hardly, you know it's not meant. I'd rather my son say that than call her the C word,
right,
or say, your mother smells. Like,
Right.
I'd rather him say I'm gonna kill you, because we all know they don't mean it, and nothing. I mean, I understand you can't take the chance this day and age, but come on.
No, that's not like, it's like I mean, but at the end of the day, like I said, when I went through the text messages, this girl's a pain in the fucking ass with everybody.
Right.
So she was a pain in the ass, and then I think what happened was the mother got upset, apparently, from one of the other mothers told me, because one of the kids was like, oh, they for whatever reason, some of these kids sometimes they'll call each other orphans. Yeah, you're an orphan. And apparently the girl's father, walked out on the family, 3 weeks ago. So they think they're teasing her on that. I was like, see, Mike, you got to be careful, because she technically is half an orphan right now. So this is what I got to fucking deal with while I'm sitting here.
My God.
Unbelievable. So everybody out there, don't give your kids phones until they're 17. It's my advice.
It's the code of the schoolyard, Bart. That's right.
Yep.
This is nothing more. I mean, if the school has to get involved, which they shouldn't be, but if they have to, this is nothing more than calling all the kids involved into the principal's office. You, knock it off.
Exactly.
Knock it off.
Exactly.
Do you want to kill her? No.
Right.
Did you mean it when you said this? No. Are you going to beat her up again?
Right.
No.
Are you going to hit him again? Exactly.
Right. Are you guys gonna straighten up, or do we have to call your parents? That used to be the big threat.
Right.
I don't want my mother to know.
Right.
I'm more worried about my mother than I'm about the principal.
But I still got to take. He's still an asshole for saying shit like that, because he thinks he's
all right. But he doesn't.
Be a mean kid. He doesn't mean it.
Exactly.
Right.
He doesn't need to be pulled out for this.
No. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And it's not like your son has a record. It's not like he's.
The kids.
It's not like he's a special needs kid who might not understand what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, that happened because my daughter's autistic, so she was in the special ed classes, but in a regular, in a typical school. But one of the kids in her class, he got suspended, and I don't remember what he did. He got suspended for 2 days. He's autistic. He doesn't understand what he even did.
Right.
All he knows is that he got 2 days off.
Right.
You think he learned anything from that? No, he was happy.
Yeah.
I got 2 days off.
Right. Yeah, no, it's worse when you pull them out.
Oh, it makes me nuts.
Let me see. I think I should at least make contact with the school, right? And tell them I'm going to be coming at 1.
Oh, you want to call them on the air? I'm kidding. That would be awesome, though.
I don't know. Let's take a poll on that one. And I apologize, audience, but I know how my wife handles things, and she probably cursed this guy out.
Oh, my God. Fremder, too bad the C word is so looked out upon. It's my favorite word. It's my favorite word, too, because I love it. But,
I know.
Good luck. Yeah. All right. Chris is on the phone. Oh, that's ridiculous. Drives me nuts. All right, so while we're waiting on Chris, what do we got? How's everybody's weekend? Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I was talking before about the New Year's Eve show, mentioning it again because I'm trying to push the hell out of it because I want people to come to see me. Go to govs.com for the New Year's show. The late show in the Giggle Room as well, and then Anthony Rodia is playing in the big club. But also go govs.com.
All right.
Didn't get him?
No, they said he's in a meeting. I said, let him know that I'll be there at 1 o'clock to take a meeting, and if I get turned away from the door, he's going to have a bigger problem than he has now.
You actually said that?
That's exactly what I told him.
Nice.
I was like, I'll be there at 1 o'clock.
Meanwhile, the meeting, they're saying he's in a meeting. It's probably with your wife.
No, my wife's going to pick him up, but my wife's ready to kill somebody.
Oh, my God.
She's crazy. She's Sicilian, so when she gets heated.
Yeah, there might not be a principal to see at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get, but I got to get the full. But my son, you know what? He's got to take some responsibility.
Oh, of course.
Without a doubt.
But still.
text messages, it's like you're just saying it to be mean.
Right.
And that's what I tell him. She's saying it to be mean, but this girl's doing things to him, and what are you doing to her? I'm like, the problem is that he can't say anything. We had mean girls in school, and because he told me last week, and I just kind of brushed it. He's like, oh, she kicked me, and she kicked Vinny. And I was like, she probably likes you.
Right.
Like, that's what they do.
Right. Right.
And they're just going to keep kicking you.
And how old is your son?
10 years old.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's almost at the point where hey, she kicked me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the girls, you could see. The girls are a little bit, they're already into, like, following the boys. The boys are still all boys. They can't stand the girls.
Right.
They're still in that mode. So I'm always like, gotta be nice. But he was like, she kicked me. I'm like, oh, wait, she likes you. And then get used to it because it's all they do. They're going to kick you for the rest of your life.
Right. And especially at that age to say, I'm going to kill you. Oh, crying out loud.
Crazy.
We did so much worse as kids and did not get sent home. My kids did. My son did worse. And, we're only talking 15 years ago. He didn't get sent home.
Right.
But I take that back. It was when he was in the older grades. he got sent home once. A buddy of his was getting bullied in school. And actually a teacher even spoke up. A teacher called the parents of this kid who was getting bullied and said, I just want to let you know this is what's going on. I saw it myself. And just to let you know, I did report this.
Right.
So the parents, okay, thanks. And they decided to wait to hear from the powers that be to find out how they were handling this. Sure enough, nobody ever called. So the bullying continued. And this went on for a few months. And one day, this kid was getting bullied. And this is a friend of my son. So he stepped in. Guess who got sent home the rest of that day?
Right.
And that's, and again, he was in the older grades at that point, but that's when I thought to myself, now things are not what they used to be. This is, and I remember, yelling at the principal, just telling her, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
He stepped up.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a different world, man. And the parents are the worst, and they're just little bitches, and they make all the problems. They're not letting kids be kids.
Yeah. Second one in gets the foul called. Another place where hockey is a great learning resource.
Yes, right? That I agree.
That's Andy Plajanos. Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
Crazy. Wow.
So now she's going to go grab him. He's going to be freaking out. So let me just see.
Now, you said she's going to freak out. Are you comfortable with her going to get him, or do you need to meet her there?
No, I'll let her go. Because then I can come in as the nice one afterwards, right? I come in as the calm one. But she's trying to figure out. And
is it just the rest of the day he's being sent home?
That's what I don't know. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, hear him when you get a chance to speak to you and Mike, to you and Michael, hear him with some chatting that was going on the phone. He said, you're aware, looking into the investigation.
The investigation?
Yeah, the investigation of what, fucking 10-year-old?
Law and Order. School Crimes Unit.
And now she wants to know if we can get deleted text messages. And I'm like, I told you not to delete the thread. That's exactly what I told her. I'm like, no. Go get a court order for a fucking 10-year-old's text messages. I mean, this world is fucking shot. It's driving me nuts. This is insane. And they were on Snapchat. No.
Well, doesn't it automatically disappears on Snapchat? Well, that's where they were?
Hey, at least thank God they didn't say there was a dick pic sent.
Oh, crap.
My fucking Lord.
that phone ringing was probably the principal, says Kenny. Need to report the girl for the physical behavior.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Which is way worse than words. Yes. Right. But that's what you were saying a minute ago, though. But that you don't want to play that game because it wasn't. I mean, yeah, she kicked him, but it wasn't real physical violence. She wasn't. No, she wasn't trying to hurt him.
No, but last night this started. He was at his friends, and then the mother called the mother, and I'm like, "What were you saying?" And then I looked. He's like, "But," and I looked on the other thread, and she was a pain in the ass on this 15th thread. But what happened is he with his friends, and she said something about his friend, and then he thinks he's sticking up for his friend, and he says stupid shit, and that's what he's got to realize. It's stupid shit. Stupid shit.
Well, that's what the school needs to realize.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there at 1:00.
Oh, my goodness.
She's a mess, though.
Yeah, of course she is. That's why I said. That's why I asked if you needed to go. Because
I should probably head home. And
go. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, we'll discuss this. I'll come by.
Yeah,
Thursday.
please. Yes, keep me updated.
Thursday? All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I should probably be because she's not going to stop texting me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same way. And whenever my kids had trouble at school, I was the one that rushed over.
And she's going to go and lose her mind, and I'm going to be the one who moods it. This is going to cost me $17,000 a year fucking to go and send them to Kellenberg now.
Yeah, that's what happens.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. No problem. No problem. Good luck, man.
I'll come by and tell you. We'll definitely, the story will have an ending.
All right, good luck. Wow. All right, let's see. So going back to Andy's comment, that's what we were saying. It's it's a shame. The girl wasn't trying to hurt him. She didn't really. It was physical contact, but it wasn't that bad. She just kicked him. And I agree with Chris. She probably just likes the kid. But now you have to play that game. Well, she kicked him, and get her in trouble, piss the parents off, creates an awkward situation. Fremder, one time I got sent home for shaking my chocolate milk in front of the girls. Andy Plajanos, you have to play that game. You don't know her intentions, just like the school is saying they don't know Chris's kids' intentions. I understand that. But, yeah, and I agree, but like I said a few minutes ago, Chris's kid doesn't have, he doesn't have some kind of disability where he doesn't understand. He's not showing, he doesn't have, he hasn't shown any signs of violent behavior. Of course, you hear it all the time about, the kids that do shoot up their schools, about all the signs and all, the records they had. I get it. And you can't take chances. I totally get that. But again, these kids, at least Chris's kid, we know doesn't have anything on record. He doesn't have anything documented. To me, like I said, this is just the principal getting the kids into the room. Firstly, should have been the parents because the school wasn't involved. And then if it continues, then then your punishments become harsher. If they're not listening or if it gets worse. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a completely different world. This is 100% all the parents' fault, says Andy. Well, like Chris said, you got to stay on top of their phones. You got to see what they're doing. I'll be honest, and I'm not talking behind Chris's back. I'll say it to him when he's back here and we're catching up on this. I don't know if I agree with 10-year-olds even having a phone. But, again, I understand that's the way of the world now, where things are changing and kids are getting younger and younger getting phones. But, fine, you're going to get them a phone, but you still limit them. I wouldn't allow my 10-year-old on Snapchat. I mean, my kids didn't get phones until I think my daughter was 14. And the only reason she got a phone was because she had stayed after school for something, for a drama club. She was in a play. And the play was scheduled, the rehearsal was scheduled in at a certain time. And when I got there, it turned out they let the kids out early. So my daughter got all confused, didn't know what to do. And because she didn't have a phone, she had no way of reaching me. She ended up walking home. And it was a pretty decent walk we weren't terribly close to the high school. I want to say probably 2-3 miles. And, young autistic girl walking home by herself in the dark. And, it was about an hour from when I got to the school to when she showed up at the house. And during that hour, I was driving all over Wanto and Seaford trying to find my daughter. And an hour is a long time. And we did. My son was with me. I didn't even think. I thought I didn't, but there was no way I was calling their mother. There was no way I was doing that. So I didn't call her. I just searched for an hour. And, again, an hour is a long time. I thought my kid was gone. My son was, crying his eyes out. He was with me, and thank God. She took a route home that I didn't know she knew. But anyway, yeah. So the very next day, I got my kids' phones, but they were limited. And I checked their phones regularly. And even then, I thought it was regularly, and then my daughter ended up having an issue with somebody on her phone because I didn't. And if I checked it sooner, it would have been a much different, turnout than the trouble she had. So yeah, I don't know, it's tough, man. Andy Plajanos, my 10-year-old is a few years away from getting a phone. Forget about apps like Snapchat, right? That's for when she pays for her own phone. Yeah. Kenny Friedman, I had a car with a little spot of rust on the corner of the wheel well. My auto body guy said I should take care of it before it becomes a problem. It was tiny and no big deal, so I didn't bother fixing it. Now it's 6 years later, and that little spot is a big chunk of the body falling off. Ignoring or brushing off little problems leave you open for much bigger problems later on. I get that, and I totally agree. But we're talking about 10-year-olds, and he said, at least I think he said earlier that they all kind of know each other a little bit. I just think it just doesn't. Yes, it sounds like a little problem, but again, I'm not saying you don't do anything about it. I'm just saying that what is being done about it right now is just an overreaction. Son, sit down. You don't tell this girl you're going to kill her. And then you get all the kids together, and the parents should have called each other and said, all right, let's get the kids together, let's sit down and discuss this. The parents should actually discuss it first. Then they sit the kids down together. Because, again, I don't know about these days, but when I was a kid, man, you were more scared of your parents than you were of the teachers. So the parents sit down with the kids. You don't do this. You guys are friends, right? Well, then be friends. You don't say this, and you should be, and fine. Don't kick him. Why'd you kick him? Again, I agree with Chris. She probably just likes him, but fine. You still have to teach her not to kick, of course, and be smart. Don't say I'm going to kill you. That's not nice. You have a problem. You got to tell me. Stuff like that. Fremder, when I was that age, I was happy with my beeper that spelled 8008S. Yep. Yeah, we did that. Boobs. Remember, when we were kids, we did that on the calculators. That's how old we are. Back in your day. All right, well, there you go. Chris Cassandro hanging out with us. Had to get cut short. Hope everything's all right. I hope him and his wife don't end up removed from the school. Yeah, it's tough, man. I once got into a screaming match with my son's elementary school principal. My son was in the integrated program, where it's a mix of, kids that need some extra services along with, with the typical kids. And, the whole idea, is to integrate into the inclusion class, is the inclusion program. The whole idea is to get these kids acclimated as best they can, get them up to speed, get them as close to typical as possible, right? And not to exclude them and not to have them stand out. And I remember when my son was really little, like the first few years of elementary school, all kids are, hyper and impulsive and loud and annoying. And it wasn't until like third grade because my son ADHD, and so he was in the inclusion program, and he was a hyper guy. But he wasn't uncontrollable. He wasn't a bad kid. He was just hyper and needed, some extra, just a little bit extra services. Not that bad, but a little bit. It was the hardest thing was keeping him focused, and but it was around third grade where you started to notice, kids growing up a little bit, and he was, just a little bit behind. Not that bad again, but still, it's starting to get noticeable. And I think it was fourth grade where the principal decided to put a wall in a classroom. Like, you have a classroom. Picture a wall right in the middle of it. So you have like these two shoe boxes. And he said that was so that once, for the good chunk of the day, the kids that need the extra help will be on one side, the typical kids on the other. And that's not what inclusion is all about. In this day and age, especially, that's not what you do. And he didn't tell anybody he was doing it either. We just, the school year started, and there this wall was. So, of course, several parents, got upset. This principal was never friendly to the special needs programs. He was too busy writing letters for himself to win Principal of the Year honors, for New York State. This guy was a real piece of shit. So, so I was one of the parents that went up to the school. Because you started to hear parents are talking, you started to hear rumblings. This one went up and got nowhere. This one. So I went up and another parent was there too, and he just wasn't budging, and I just got pissed. I had enough, and like I said, this guy's track record through the special needs world was not a good one. So I finally said to him, I just had enough, and I said, you're not making guinea pigs out of my son and his classmates to see how your stupid little wall works. And this guy, he blew up, and we were like an umpire and a baseball player, face to face, screaming at each other, thinking it was going to go to blows. But unfortunately, that's what happens these days, because I agree with you, Kenny, about the little problems. You can't ignore it, but I do feel that it blows up way too quickly than it needs to be. Pretending that things in our culture are the same now as they were in the 70s and 80s isn't productive. It's a different world. I agree 100%, Ken. I agree 100%. But you don't think this particular incident is an overreaction? And if you don't, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just seriously asking. Because to me, it does seem like that, And I agree, it's a different world than the 70s and 80s. However, this kid telling another kid that he's going to kill her, I don't think that's any different than us saying those words in the 70s and 80s. Do you have your exceptions? Absolutely. But I don't think this is one of them. I don't particularly think this particular incident is one of those cases. Fremder, it would be funny if when they ask her why she kicked him, she replies, because I want to spend the rest of my life with him and have a family with 2 kids and 3 dogs with a house and a white picket fence. Plagianos, it is not an overreaction. Parents need to catch up and not say stupid shit like, she probably likes you. So you're saying, disagree 100%, says Kenny, the way things are going these days. Yeah? So, all right, so let me understand this. So, Andy Plagianos, you're saying that as soon as she kicked him, that was before he told her he was going to kill her. So when she kicked him, you're saying then that Chris and his wife should have said something to the school. This is nostalgia. You want things to be like when you were a kid, and they are not. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just I just can't help but think that kids are kids. Again, in this particular case, are you saying that Chris's kid meant it? That he seriously in his head was thinking, I'm going to kill this girl. I'm going to murder her. I don't think that's the case. You literally said that several times. Well, I'm talking about this particular case where I do feel it's an overreaction. When we were kids. Sure, because I do feel, like I said, there were plenty of times when we said as a kid, I'm going to kill you. This particular case, I do feel, yes, that he meant it the same way we meant it as kids. And again, I'm talking about this particular instance. I'm not talking about every instance because I know things are different now. And when the girl kicked the kid, I mean, I agree with Chris. She probably did it because she likes him. But fine. Contact the parents. Just let you know, little Susie kicked my Mike. Can you ask her not to do that? Can you say something to her? Then if it keeps going on, then you contact the school, right? I mean, it was just a little kick. No? Is there another chat somewhere that I'm not seeing? What do you mean? Are you not seeing? Are you referring to what I'm reading? You can't say you know what is anyone else's heart or mind. What you mean as far as what? The kid saying I'm going to kill you? I agree, but I know Chris's kid doesn't have a record like this. Like I understand there's got to be a first time, but what I know about the kid, the pictures I've seen, videos I've seen, knowing Chris well enough, I think it's safe to say he didn't mean it. One time I got in trouble in school for calling some kid a diaper head, not because he was acting like a baby, but because he was a hindi-bindi bully. I have no idea what that means. Probably stop. What if the principal you had your thing with said a wall will probably work? I'm sorry, Andy, I don't follow this. What if he said a wall will what? So if he came to me in advance and said he wanted to build a wall and asked me if it would work, I would have said no. I would have said no, that's the opposite of what an inclusion class is. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question because I'm not sure if I understood what you were asking. The kid says to the teacher or monitor, Brittany kicked me. The teacher teaches Brittany that we don't put our hands and feet on other people. Parents don't need to be involved. Okay. All right, well, that's one thing I didn't get from Chris if she kicked him in school or outside of school. But either way, you're absolutely right. So if she did it in school, what you just said is correct. If she did it outside of school, I contact the parents. Hey, she kicked my kid. Do you mind saying something? No problem. Because, like we said, and I'm assuming this still goes on with kids, but it went on when we were kids. Sometimes kids got into a little fight, some kind of physical altercation. Sometimes that day or the next day they became friends. Either way, so hey, can you tell Brittany not to kick? Right, that's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't. It should have been just that. It shouldn't have had to blow up into this. If Chris's kid went back to her and gave her a black eye, yeah, send him home. And if I'm Chris, I'd be punishing like crazy. But this particular instance just doesn't seem like it warrants what's going on. Let's see. Unless it becomes a recurring problem, which I said earlier too. Let's see. Oh, so I got a message here from Twitch. They're holding back Kenny Friedman's statement because of aggression. Whoa. See, now you're causing trouble, Kenny. Let's see what it says. But nobody should ever say, I'm going to kill you to another person. It's assault. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll allow that. There it is. And yeah, I agree. I'm not sitting. Let me be clear here. I am not sitting here saying that I'm not sitting here saying that Chris should turn to his kid and say, I know you didn't mean it. It's no problem. I'm not saying that at all. The parents, when the kids aren't around, should be saying that to each other and getting on the same page. The kids, the parents and the school should be having that conversation privately. Look, I know he didn't mean it, but that's what I said earlier. This, unless it's a recurring problem, which it isn't yet, and hopefully it won't be, this is the first offense. The principal brings all the kids in. You don't say I'm going to kill you. You don't kick. You don't do this. You don't do that. If this continues, your parents get a phone call. Put the phones away. Knock it off. And then you call the parents anyway because you want to let them know what's going on. And then the parents handle it however they handle it. Mike, you lost the phone for a day. Whatever the punishment is. Brittany, you kicked Mike. No computer time, no TV, whatever it is. I'm not saying that it should be brushed off by any means. And with the kids, yeah, never with the kids. You never say. I think Chris. I don't know. Did he say he said that to his son? Maybe Brittany. Yeah, I think he did say that. That he said that to Mike. That maybe Brittany just likes you. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that shouldn't be said. Because I mean, that's the thing here. I mean, we're talking about 10-year-olds. They're young. All right, Andy's giving me. Let's see. I see a whole bunch of exclamation points. He is 10. When does the record start? Social media is where you see this stuff about the kid, and I'm talking about the girl. What if she is violent? The record starts now. But that's what I'm saying. But this might never happen again. You got to give the kids a chance, don't you? You're saying you immediately jump in with sending them home because of a kick. She didn't cause him pain. He wasn't crying. He wasn't cut. To me, don't you give them at least one chance? Fine. Next week, 2 weeks from now, she kicks him again? Absolutely. Call the parents, send her home for an afternoon, teach her a lesson. Fine. But doesn't she get that one chance because she's 10, doesn't she get a chance to learn a little bit? Again, not arguing with you. I'm seriously asking. Again, nostalgia. No. The school has to have this reaction because they don't know what came before. Can you imagine you get a report that one student is threatening to kill another, and you are responsible for the health and safety of the entire school? But how many times, and that was my question before, and I don't think it was answered. Are you telling me that kids still aren't saying that now like we were when we were kids? You telling me that there isn't 2 more kids in that school today saying it to somebody just, because they're busting balls and they just got away with it because nobody heard it and they didn't mean it? I don't know. Right, and I hear you. They don't know what came before, but again, that's why you talk to the parents. So maybe that should have been it first. Call the parents, say, look, we have a situation here. Has this happened before? Talk to all the parents involved. Find out, yes, Mr. So-and-so, has Mike Cassandro, has he threatened, your kid before? If the answer is yes, fine. Might is not what we expect from the school. Let's see. Another comment got held back. Oh, this time from Fremder. Let me see what this... Fremder, I'm not allowing that one. Sorry. Being sent home isn't the worst thing to happen. It is totally sane and reasonable responsible... It is totally sane and reasonable response so that everyone knows that it's not acceptable. Okay. But, I don't know, is a 10-year-old learning that lesson? Well, maybe they probably are because the parents need to follow up and say, okay, Mike, you're punished. Because I'm thinking the kid is just thinking, oh, that's all I got to do to get out of school. My son actually went through that. He got in trouble for something, and he was forced to eat lunch at the principal's office for like a week or some shit. And he liked it. So he wanted to figure out a way to keep doing that, and I had to put that to bed. Kenny Friedman, there's also the legal side of things. The school will not get sued. The school will get sued if this type of problem isn't addressed right away. You don't know who is breaking balls. You don't know who. Andy's yelling at me. Andy gets grumpy when he doesn't come in for a week. Yeah, you don't know who's breaking balls, but you can find out. I mean, again, we have the phone. You have the records of the texts. You can talk to the parents. That is what they're doing. We aren't even talking about the whole day. Well, no, we didn't know. He was being sent home, but we didn't know how long he was being sent home for. Someone like Chris will likely say again, she probably just likes you if they don't send them home. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's okay to say that or not to your kid. If you're trying to just calm a situation down, throw a little positive spin on it, say maybe she likes you. Maybe because he's still 10 and isn't interested in girls yet, maybe it's not the right thing to say. However, I just want to follow it up with, it doesn't matter if you say it or not. You still have to teach the kid what's right and wrong. No kicking, no I'm gonna kill you. You have to do the right thing. From that another message. Let's see. Let me see what he said. All right, I'll allow that one. The kid learned the words "I'm going to kill you" from somewhere and said the parents should be teaching the kids how to say things like, "We'll have a nice afternoon eating peanut butter and jelly by the swing set." What is that, Kenny Freeman? Is that a sword? What is that? I can't make out what that little emoji is. Let's see. Feral Helena. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning, Helena. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate the input today. I appreciate you guys hanging out and commenting with us, especially now that Chris had to go, since our guest had to leave. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? There is a whole investigation that needs to happen. There is a whole investigation that needs to happen by who? This is the school's job. Who has time for this? Well, right. That, at which I believe I said that before. Yeah, I disagree the school should even be involved since all this was going on outside of school. And it's the parents' job. It's the parents' job to investigate when something's going on with their kid. Check your phones regularly. Talk to them regularly. Make sure they're doing the right thing. And again, I'm not saying that a 10-year-old saying to another 10-year-old, "I'm going to kill you." I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying this kid doesn't have a record, and we know that for a fact. So in this particular instance, I'm saying it's an overreaction. I'm not talking about generally. I'm not saying, everybody should treat it this way. I'm saying this particular incident. It's a cat holding a sword. Is a cat going to come stab me? Nothing like school to learn how to treat a lady. Helena is a moderator for my channels. That's a mod love emote. Oh, all right. Yes, cat with a sword. Meowed love. The kids will be kids' defense. Great. I'm not one of those kids will be kids people. I'm not. I punish my son on a regular basis for stuff that could be labeled as kids being kids. But I try not to overreact either. So then the appropriate action is to send them home. To the parents, I go back to what is the reaction one should have if the parents didn't handle this before. They should have a class on respect. That's actually not a bad idea. I know a lot of schools have stepped up and they have anti-bullying programs and stuff that are very effective. So maybe this school needs to step up with that kind of thing. Yeah, and I agree with you, Andy. The parents, send them to the parents. Get the parents to handle it and teach the kids right. With a phone call. No, they should not have a class for respect. The parents need to step up, full stop. I agree with you, Andy. I agree. It starts with the parents. But there's nothing wrong with the school enhancing what the things they should be learning at home. I mean, I know you have, an opinion on that. We talked about it off the air just recently, and I don't want to get into that now. But that's a whole different discussion. I have no doubt the schools are teaching kids not to assault each other. Okay, The parents, have you met the parents on Long Island? I agree with you there, Kenny. I agree with you. And now, what is that emoji? Is that Jeremy? And he's laughing, whatever he's doing. It looks like Jeremy from Yellow Submarine. I'm geeking out with my Beatles. And said the 2 + 2 they should teach me plus you. The parents will blow off a phone call. You see, Chris can't handle this. He gave a stock misogynistic trope, and his attention has been grabbed. Tommy Williams is laughing. That's Tommy Williams? Who's Tommy Williams? Very confused. I'm not up on my Twitch and social media and memes and GIFs and emojis. I'm a nerd. I'm old. Parents will blow off a phone call. Tommy from Wondrous Stories. Oh, that's who Tommy Williams is? My apologies, Tommy Williams. I didn't know your last name. I know who Tommy from Wondrous Stories is. But what do you mean? Is that emoji? Is that him? I don't know what's going on. He's my streaming partner on the Jukesters. Oh, okay. Hello, Tommy from Wondrous Stories. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. It looks like it's a possibility Kenny Forgione is coming in this Thursday on this show. He was here once before, had a great time. Kenny's a great guy. And yeah, hopefully he's going to be in here on Thursday. That'll be great. So, all right, it's just about time for me to get out of here. Interesting conversation today with you guys. I really appreciate it. I don't think I also respect I also liked how we respected each other's opinions and just talked. Like nobody really got too crazy and too offensive. So I appreciate that very much. Do you know how to raid? I've heard about raids. I've been told about them. I haven't done one yet. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about here on Twitch, when you're Kenny, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, in case I'm misunderstanding, when you're live, you find another show that's live, and there's a way to bring your whole audience over to that show, so that helps them get viewers, and then that show will then do it back, something like that. Oh, I'm correct. Woo! I actually understood something on social media. So yeah, I the principal is probably banging the English teacher. All right, well, good for him. But I got no problem with that. It helps them and it helps you get your name in front of others. Yes. Yeah, we've been on Twitch for 2 or 3 months now. And the truth is, in those 2 or 3 months, I haven't sat here and just really tooled around on Twitch to figure it out and see what's what. Because running the station, trying to do other things for other shows, working on the murder mystery shows, life, kids, it's trying to, and then every day I have to plan this show, and sometimes we're on weekends here as well. So, we got to plan that. So it's just, I just haven't had time. But you need a little lesson over here. Yes, I sure do, without a doubt. So yeah, I'm going to try and I am going to try and get on that in January. 'Cause things do get things calm down for me a little bit come January, because I've been playing Santa Claus at White Post Farms. I've been working at White Post Farms every weekend since September, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 weekends off, but. So let's raid someone. Oh, we can do that right now? Maybe the kid is practicing for the murder mystery show. Maybe. I'll sign the kid up. So I can do that right now, Kenny? How do I... See, I'm not even on Twitch right now. I'm on OBS, which is the program that, that I stream, that allows me to stream on Twitch. Yes, I should raid at the end of every show. Yeah, see, I would need to know how to even do that. I don't even... Yeah. I'm assuming I need to actually open up. Well, you know what? I'm on Twitch on my phone. Does that help? Can I do it that way? Do you have a chat box? Oh, I can't do it on the phone. All right. Do I have a chat box? Yes. I mean, you see the chat box, don't you? It's right there. I have a chat box. She's called my wife. Man, I was just waiting for that. I knew it. I knew Fremder was going to say that. Can you type? Yes. I mean, I can type into the chat box. Is that what you're asking me? Teach me. School me. Feral Helena, she started following me. Oh, and so did Kenny. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Type something, anything. Okay. There it is. Do you see it? Okay, good, he says. All right, so while we're figuring this out, because normally we'd be ending the show, right? Do you want to rate a music streamer? Sure, why not? We get plenty of musicians on here. We had Joe DeJesu here last week. We've had a lot of musicians in here. Tom Sanfilippo of the band Half Step. He does a show here every other Monday night. He's not on tonight. He'll be back next week. We had the Jill Joya band in here over the summer. They were fantastic. I'm trying to get them back. Having trouble figuring out schedules. And we're going to have Kenny Freeman in here soon. Hopefully Kenny Forgione will be in here on Thursday. Frank Walker's been in here. We've had plenty of musicians. Mike Del Judas it's been a few years, but he's been in here I believe it was twice he's been in here. Billy J. Kramer was in here twice. I have a very cool art streamer for you to raid. Very supportive of new streamers. Okay, I'm ready. I think. Tell me what I got to do, and I'll do it. Kenny, what's the name of your show? Because you're on Twitch, and I know you've been on Twitch for a while. What do you do? Do you put a link in here or something? Like how do my guys here find you? So in your chat box, type raid. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, sorry. Let's see. For some reason, I'm having trouble seeing your. Hang on a second. The stream scribe. Is that what you wrote? For some reason, I'm having trouble seeing it. Stream. Whoops. Oh, okay. There it is now. Okay. They can click on your name or tap it. Oh, that's how they find you. Okay. The stream scribe. All right. So, and then all right, so I typed that, and it came up unrecognized command. I'm going to try it again. Raid the stream. Make sure that there's a space between raid and the name. Also, it's a /. I typed that the first time, and that's when it came up. All right, I'll try it again. Raid the stream scribe. Oh, all right, it worked this time. I typed it right the first time, but didn't work. But now, just now, it says the raid has been created. Bingo! Oh, there. 5 viewers are ready to raid. So it says 5 viewers are ready to raid the stream scribe now, and then I have to click on raid now. I'm doing it. Rated, I guess. Welcome to the chat room. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast is raiding with a party of 5. Forte Piano Laser Fight says, welcome Raiders. I'm going to say hi. Hi, everybody. Rating from Govs. We are Governor's Comedy Club. They've subscribed for 10 months. Kenny says, I brought some friends over. The Jukes is, holy crap, that sounds like a blast from the past. Helena's saying hello to them. My first party crash is Ken Pichelle. All right, so what do we do now? So is this chat going on during their show? Kenny Friedman, the Jukesters, Gov's Comedy Club Podcast is an old friend of mine, new on Twitch. Yeah, Kenny, we go back how long now? Probably 30 years, right? And then your wife and I go back almost 40 years. How crazy is that, man? Oh yeah, if you have room for requests, I do have one in mind. I'd love. Oh, so this chat is what? So this is the chat that's going on that guy's show. And what do we now? Because I don't see his show, I'm still seeing mine. So I don't know, like, what's going on with each other's streams. Anything? And how long do I have to stay here? Because normally I'd be going off the air now. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast has a dog that the stream scribe's audio is crackling. Oh. So is there a way to see? I guess I'd have to be on Twitch, to actually be on Twitch to see his show. Now, and what happened? Now, did you guys all end up on that show? Because it doesn't look like anybody's responding to me. So I don't know if I lost you guys. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they're all talking about dogs. So there must be something going on that show that they're all referring to. All right, so I'm going to sign off. So, yeah, I guess my show is gone. And I sent you all over to that show? All right, I'm going to go because I don't know what's going on. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see me or not. I'm going to say no. On that show? Because it doesn't look like anybody's responding to me. All right, I'm out of here. If anybody can see me, join us tonight, Steve Squared at 6:30. Tuesday Trivia tomorrow here on our show. We'll be live at 11 a.m. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you guys later.